Hi there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Leanne. I'm a Pilates and yoga teacher, online coach and personal trainer. Today I'm going to take you through a 45-minute live Pilates class targeting the lower body. I'm going to incorporate some abs and tricep work as well. I had the opportunity to do a little bit of a showing around of the intra-abdominal pressure, which is what we work and help strengthen during my Pilates classes. So intra-abdominal pressure, what is it? It's the pressure that is caused from coughs, sneezes, laughing, pee, urgency, and incontinence can happen when there's a breakdown in intra-abdominal pressure. So there's muscles that make up the cavity in the abdominal wall that's meant to hold this pressure, and when there's a breakdown it can lead to back pain, stress incontinence, or diastasis recti, or a hiatal hernia if it's in the diaphragm, the pressure being released. The muscles that we work, the diaphragm, we look to strengthen it during our breath work. We incorporate the chest on the inhale. So that's the top part of the intra-abdominal pressure. We've got the rectus abdominis, the six-pack muscle, or the abs, six-pack abs. And behind, we've got the erector spinae muscles, and we've got the multifidus muscle. So if there's a breakdown in the lower back, that's where pressure can be released and you can get back pain. We've got the transverse abdominis, the TVA, which is that deep core muscle, acts as a corset to hold all the organs in and in place. So the transverse abdominis and the pelvic floor work together in keeping that pressure in that area as well. So when there's a breakdown, you can get stress incontinence in the pelvic floor, which tends to happen as females. We know our pelvic floor can stretch up to 300 times during pregnancy. It's not a surprise it can get a little bit weak as well. Pelvic floor muscle being the key thing here, they can be trained. Then we've got the obliques, the internal and external obliques on the sides that keep our pressure as well. So making sure we're training the core as a unit along with the other muscles responsible for the intra-abdominal pressure, keeps us nice and strong. And I'm always talking about the quadratus lumborum, or the QL muscle. Thought it was relevant to explain a little bit here. So it's attached from the spine to the top of the pelvis. Basically, it helps you carry heavy bags and keeps you upright, so you're not bending over to one side. It's also responsible for stability and balance, and it can be responsible for a lot of lower back pain when it's weak or it's too tight. So we strengthen and stretch during a lot of my classes, this muscle in particular. But yeah, comment below if this was useful and I might do it again. So now I'm going to take you through this class. We're going to get started on the mat. I'll be working lower body with some upper body mix today. So we're going to start with calf raises. Let's warm up the lower body, coming onto the heels of our feet for like a stretch and a flex. High reps, core engaged. Deep breaths. Soft knees, so small bend in the knee. Another 10. 5. Good. 2 more. And then you've got the option to hold that last one, see how well you do with balance. Put your arms out to the side to help. Let it burn, a few seconds of that. Good. Ankle strength. And release. Next, we're going to go into squats. So nice and wide. Toes are slightly pointing outwards, and you want to push them knees out to open up the hips for these kind of squats. Squeeze the bum cheeks coming up. Looking for 15, and then you've got the option to release, or you can hold with me for an additional few seconds. So coming all the way down, first thing that happens is your hips shift backwards. So the weight should be in the heels of your feet, chest proud, so you're working the lower back as well and strengthening that to keep upright. Make sure you're not leaning forward. Another 3. Keep squeezing that bum cheek. 2. 1. And hold. 10. Deep breaths. 4. 3. Let it burn. 2. 1. Release. Excellent. I'm going to go into curtsy squats or curtsy lunges next. Working and strengthening that outer hip area. So you're going to place one foot slightly forward. Your left leg is going to come cross and then a dip. Then back to the start. from here to here. So imagine the amount of balance and stability that's needed in your body. So really good for reducing that fall risk, keeping you nice and stable. And your knee will face up another direction, but you still want it in the middle of your foot. So just check. So it's nice and safe. So it's more than just a hinge joint, your knee. It's a semi-bicondylar, which means it can move side to side. So it's good for knee strength, stability, and a little bit of flexibility there with the tendon. Looking for 10, we'll do one more. You should start to feel it here. Over to the other side. Again, just watch the technique. Start off slow until you get the hang of it. Knee should just be off the floor. Take your time coming up, challenging that balance. Deep breaths. A lot of big muscles that we're working, so it will get you out of breath. That's good. So we work on fitness. 3. 2. Keeping the weight in the heel always. Excellent. A few seconds recovery. You finish last rep. Lateral leg lift. So we're working the same muscles we just used for the courtesy squats. As we're making sure it's progressive to build new muscle. Another 10. 5. 1 more. Over to the other side. Hopefully we're feeling it now, stabilising leg. 7. Core engaged. Recovering from the squats. 5. 4. Soft knee. 2. Good. A few seconds rest before we do that again, starting with squats. Let's get your breath back. Looking for 15 squats again, pushing the knees out, coming all the way down. But squeeze your bum cheeks, clench them as you're coming up and use them and tone them. 6, good. Another 5, and you've got the option to hold to tone the thighs. 2. 1 more, and hold. 10. Deep breaths, keep pushing them knees out, chest proud, sit in the squat. Let it burn. 2, 1, and release. Well done, shake off those legs. Whew. Get your breath back. And we're going into curtsy lunges. Take your time, start off slow because you'll still be recovering. Another 10. Working slightly different muscle group and sides of the glute. This is quite an odd movement, but it's really good. One of my favourites at the moment. But because it's something you don't do every day, you probably feel this tomorrow on the sides of your pelvis. But in a good way, hopefully. 1 more. Good. Swap over to the other side. Just take your time. Try not to stop. If you just slow the movement down, that's how you build endurance and fitness. Never stop. Never give up. 7. Last 3. 2. 1 more. Well done. When you finish your last rep, lateral leg lift. Last 15. Deep breaths to recover. 10. 14, last one. Over to the other side. 5, good to move. 6. Last 5. 2. Well done. Grab a drink to recover. Last exercise now. In the stood up position. Purely to warm up the hamstrings, reduce cramp. Good mornings. Arms behind ears, shifting them elbows back. Hips come back, feel the stretch in the hamstrings, nice flat back, squeeze the bum cheeks to stand up. 15. So you're coming down as far as you can, bending at the hips only, it's the only thing that's moving. Nice neutral spine. Chest proud, core engaged, weight in the heels. So you should be able to raise your toes if you needed to. Feel that stretch, that's how far down you're going. The stretch in the back of the leg. Another 5. Working the lower back as well, strengthening that. One more. Excellent, well done. I'm going to come back over to seated position. And let's start with a cat-cow to remobilize, see how our spine's feeling today. I'm taking a somatic approach. Let's linger in either the cat or the cow a little bit more if it feels good. In any areas you enjoy the stretch. Exhale in the cat. And I'm going to rock our hips side to side as we look at either hip. And lean into that stretch. You might want to linger on one side more than the other. Can you see your bum or your foot the same amount either side? If you can't, lean into the stretch so you can. Opens up that side. Another 6. Lean in. Brace the core. Last one. Good. So in the box position, so remember you can go onto fists if your wrists are troubling, or you can go onto elbows for this next one as well. Donkey kicks. Heel to sky, bending at the leg, a 90-degree bend. Core's engaged. Make sure your pelvis is moving and tilting, but not too much. You're still keeping strong in the abs. Going for 10 altogether, so say another 5. And then you've got the option to release, or you can hold. 2. One more. And hold. Pulse 10. 9. You're pulsing with that bum cheek being squeezed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Well done. I'm going to go into forearm taps next. So elbows, so your weight is over your wrists, and your elbows come behind you and tap on the mat. If you can't get all the way to the floor, don't worry about it. You're still using the same muscles to strengthen them. But make sure your elbows are staying tucked in. And it is a bit of a dip, and that's okay. It's just a different variation of a push-up. This works well at toning the arms with high reps. Let's go for another 10. If you start to feel a cramp, the back of the arm, perhaps a burning sensation, it shouldn't be painful. Core's engaged. Can you connect and feel it connected, the lower core? Something to think about. 5, 4, 2. One more. Good. I'm going to go over to the other side. Donkey kick. So because your arms are extended using the tricep, you might feel it a little bit. That's fine. Or you can give them a break by going onto your elbows. 10 donkey kicks into 10 pulses. So yeah, just saying, don't be surprised if you still feel the backs of your arms working. Core engaged, and make sure you're not dumping all your weight in one hip. You've got your weight over evenly, left and right. Another 4, 2, and pulse. 1. Leading with that bum cheek, pulsing. 6, 8, 10. Good. Well done. Forearm taps, 15 to 20 again, or as many as you feel comfortable. As you begin to fatigue, you might not be able to get your elbow to the floor. That's fine, just bring in a little pulse instead. Exhale, coming down, inhale to rise and lengthen the spine. Core's engaged. Hips are staying still. 7, 6, fight through that discomfort. 3, let's take your time. 2 more, 1 more. Excellent. To finish the set off, if you want to come into pigeon pose, whichever leg you'd wish to start with. I'm going to start on the last one that was worked. So make sure you sat in the middle of your mat, your leg is back. You should feel stretch in the glute you're sitting on. Deep breaths as we settle in. Relax that thigh muscle at the back. Two more big deep breaths, trying to relax and sink in. Relax your shoulders. Good, over to the other side. Pigeon. So we're stretching out the sides of the hips as well that we've just worked. There's lots of blood pumped to that area. Might feel tight at first, but that tension should release. Relax the back thigh. 2 more deep breaths. Good. Feel free to grab a drink. So I'm going to do that set once more, then move on. Starting in the box position, donkey kicks. 10 reps into 10 pulses. Core's engaged. Another 2. 1. When you finish the last rep, and pulse. 10. You might feel this in your hamstring as well. 5, 4, 2, 1. Excellent. Forearm taps, 15 to 20. Exhale, coming down. Inhale to rise and lengthen. Another 4 if you can. Good. Donkey kicks over to the other side. When you're ready, looking for 10. Nine, 10, pulse. 1, 2, 3. Keeping that knee up. Good. Release. Then last 15 to 20 forearm taps. Or as many as you feel comfortable with today. Another 10 if you can. 9. Last ones. 3, 2, 1. Good. Pigeon pose. See if we can get a little bit deeper with this one. You might want to bring that foot up a little bit more this time round. Get into a slightly deeper stretch. Switch off that thigh muscle at the back. Relax. Relax your shoulders. Two more big deep breaths. And switch over to the other side. Two more big deep breaths. Good. Water break if you'd like one. I'm going to move over to the semi-supine position. So we work some abs and glutes. A nice pair. So I'm going to start with pelvic tilts, nice and gentle, to get everything fired up. So it's like the diagram working the TVA, which is an important part of the intra-abdominal pressure that I forgot to draw on there. But that's the V, deep corset muscle. So forwards and backwards tilt whilst engaging that deep core muscle. So if you've got tension below the belly button, consider yourself activating it. should start to feel a deep ache in the lower core. Rib cage is tucked in, belly button into spine, flattening the back curve, then opening it up whilst keeping your core engaged. Can you feel it's engaged, or do you need to keep your hands on there as you build that mind-muscle connection? Good. Next, we're going to come up into a glute bridge. I'm going to come into a pulse. 20 pulses. So if you're getting cramp in your hamstrings or your calves, have a play around with your foot placement. It might work better for you further away from your hips or closer to. And for 10, squeezing the bum cheeks to bring those hips up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, Apanasana, bringing the knees in for a hug and roll side to side. I'm going to go into scissors. So straightening the legs as much as you can, just using your biceps to pull your knee to your nose. I'm going to swap over. So you're working your neck as well, so you can keep your head flat on the mat, if that feels much better for you. Otherwise you can pull your leg to your nose and grip your calf so it becomes a hamstring stretch as well. Keeping that back flat. Exhale, rise. Another 10. 8. Some bicep work as well. 3, 2, 1. Good. Release. Deep breath in. Let's get some calming stress management in. Slow exhale, your own count of 4 or 5. Again, we're going to do 3 of these. Excellent. Back into glute bridge pulses. Walking your shoulders under your chest, if that feels good. Starting position is hips are as high as your thighs. Pulse it out. Higher you go, the more of your lower back to mid back you will work and strengthen. Knees faced outwards. 10. 6. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release to Apanasana. Hug and roll. Good. Over to hip kicks. So legs as straight as you can, arms flat, bringing those hips off the floor ever so slightly, curving one vertebrae at a time, coming up and down. So it's with control. Ten, 9, 6, 3, 1. Good. 3 deep breaths, slow exhale. Filling your lungs completely. Pause at the top. One more. Excellent. I'm going to bind and cross our arms over. Same with our legs. Keeping your back flat against the floor. I'm going to crunch into our knees and back. So this is adding weight to the upper and lower core. Pause for a squeeze to make it harder. If you want to, try and get them hips off the floor. 10, 9, 7, 5 left if you can. Leading with the chest, not the neck. 2. 1 more. Well done. Deep breaths. I'm going to come up into last glute bridges. Let's go for the pulse. 2. 10, 9, 5, 3, 2, 1. Release. Apanasana. Hug and roll. Last core exercise next is the window wipers, so arms out to your sides. This is getting us prepped for the spinal twist. So you can bring in a little pulse side to side, or you can come right over, or you can start with one then move into the other. Bring your knees in to your navel height, so belly button height. Making a semicircle with your knees or your feet if your legs are straight. Take your time with this one. The more weight and the straighter your legs are to the lower body, the more building of the core strength and tone. Another 6. Two more. Good. 3 big deep breaths. Last one. Over to spinal twist. So shift your hips over to the right, knees over to your left, and settle in with arms out by your side. Try and get both of those shoulder blades on the mat before you progress it. Just taking a moment for gratitude. What you did today was quite challenging. We came out of our comfort zone. It's quite hard to do. If you want to increase the stretch, straighten that top leg and hold on to the back of it with your other arm so you can relax. Can your foot touch the other side of the carpet? Can your knee? Whilst keeping your shoulder blades on the mat. Using your exhale to sink further into the stretch. One more big deep breath in. Feeling that tension release from the body. Bending both knees, coming back into semi-supine for a moment. Just feeling that stretch and that tension melt away. And then we're going to shift our hips over to the other side. Knees over to the right, arms out. And go ahead and extend that leg if that feels good today. Can you get the other shoulder blade on the mat? Allow yourself to lean into that stretch. One more big deep breath in. Bending both knees, using the weight of the knees to come into to semi-supine again. Feel the tension release. And then we're going to make our way over to child's pose. I'm going to do nice and wide knees, child's pose, toes kiss each other, elbows down so you feel a stretch in the inner groin. And just sit with that discomfort in the inner thigh. And then feet close. I'm going to make our way over to Cobra or Sphinx if you prefer. You can just settle in at first and come into a Sphinx, so elbows directly under your shoulders. You can keep your bum cheeks squeezed to protect your lower back and add a bit of additional support there. Pushing your belly and your hips into the floor. Long neck. Shoulders down away from ears, chest proud and shines forward. So you've got that back bend in the base of your back. Shoulder blades together. You can stay here or you can come into Cobra. Elbows bend and come into the sides of your ribs. Shoulders down away from ears, chest shines forward, bum cheeks squeezed, long neck. One more deep breath in. You can look at the ceiling even better. Exhale, coming down for a moment, forehead to hands. And then into knees together, child's pose. To counteract that back bend, helping fluidity of movement in the spine, keeping nice and mobile and flexible. Last back bend, puppy pose. So hips directly over your knees. We're going to walk our fingertips out, straight arms. If you can bring your forehead to the mat, even better, but keeping the hips over your knees and sink. Allowing that back bend. It's a bit more of a gentle back bend as opposed to Cobra and Sphinx. Pushing your belly down towards the floor. If you want to stretch out the triceps, you can bend at the elbow. Excellent. Counteracting once more, coming back into child's pose. We'll move over to the left, pushing the hip away from us, the opposite side. far over as you can get. Feeling that stretch on the lateral side. And over to the right, pushing the left hip away. Leaning into that stretch. Excellent. Taking an easy seat, you might want to sit on a block for the pranayama relaxation breath work. I've got eucalyptus, I'm not sure if I had this last week. Eucalyptus essential oils, if you'd like some to help grounding. Would you like some? I'll show you what we do with it. Have we done these before? Would you like some? Yeah. Thank you. My memory's terrible just now. Eucalyptus. Would you like some? Thank you. So we're just going to take an easy seat, whichever one feels comfortable for you. And start rubbing our hands together. Feeling the warmth our body's creating with the friction. You can already begin to smell the oil. You might want to rub your arms, your shoulders. And then you can feel free to bring your hands into a mudra, or you can keep smelling the oils. Sitting tall, chest proud is part of sitting tall. It's very important. A lot of us sit tall without pushing our chest forward. Noticing how our bodies feel right now. Hopefully feel a bit calmer. I'm going to practice box breathing today. So with an inhale through the nose, feeling the oxygen come all the way down to your belly, chest rises and ribs. And pause at the top with those full lungs, and then slowly exhale. Counts of 3. So it'll be inhale 1, 2, 3, pause 3, 2, 1, exhale 3, 2, 1, pause 3, 2, 1, inhale. Noticing the stages of your breath. As you inhale, your belly rises, your ribs and chest. And on the exhale, your chest falls, your ribs, and then your belly empties in that order. Can you still smell the essential oils? I want you to let go of any thoughts that are coming into your mind right now. Just observe them and then watch them pass by. And bring your focus back to your breath and the smell of the oils. Meditation is a practice, and it's very powerful. Relaxing your jawline, your eyebrows, your facial muscles. Taking a moment for self-compassion. Have you been compassionate to yourself this week? And you think of something good about yourself that you've perhaps done or who you are. Take another moment for gratitude, the prerequisite to happiness and joy. Being content with what you have. My inner light, divine light, bows down to your inner divine light. Namaste. Thanks for coming this morning. I hope you sleep well tonight.